guys? Welcome back to another episode of Buying and Selling Good versus Bad Websites on Flippa. And today, once again, I wanted to give a quick shout out to all of the students currently enrolled in the Buy Sell Bootcamp. Thank you so much for the amazing support. And once again, there will be a coupon code in the description below. 2020 is the coupon code for 20% off of the Buy Sell Bootcamp. And today I'm going to be going over how to sell a website. So if you guys are sellers, you have a blog you've been working on for years, you have an app, you have a content website that has to do with something on Amazon that you've been blogging about, or you have a domain that you have to sell, e-commerce site, whatever it is, I wanted to go over some brief components that you need to include when you are selling a website to make it stand out amongst the others. All of this information and more will be in the course and the link in the description below. But let's dive into some of the examples that I wanted to go through. Now, the reason that I'm incorporating this with buy and sell good versus bad websites is because there are good ways to do this and there are bad ways to do this. Now, the first part of selling a website is obviously you need to attract buyers or find a place like a marketplace like Flippa. So you'll go in here and do a valuation. So once you're on the business valuation calculator, you can literally just click the type of company that you have: affiliate, content, FBA on Amazon, e-commerce, app, marketplace, social profiles, SaaS service agency. So once you click that type of business, it will show you the URL and you can enter anything in here. But the main point here is that you want to go through and input all of the information of your website onto Flippa, and it will give you a valuation based on the revenue that you're making every month. And the magical thing about buying and selling websites is you're not buying on projected revenue, like projected growth. You're buying based on actual data, actual numbers, like actual amount of revenue it's making every month. Not like it's this huge market and we have this total addressable market of billions, so you're going to be making $100 million a month in 3 months. It's much different than that when you're buying and selling websites. So let's toggle back. After you go through this process with your website and you're ready to sell, there are a couple more steps in the process. Now, once you get your valuation from Flippa, you can choose to talk to their brokers, talk to them, how you want to price it, depending on what it is, if it's $250,000, if it's $5,000, whatever it may be. And you'll go through the process of setting up a listing. Now, there are a ton of websites on here, thousands. And one of the ways that you can separate yourself is that, you include support for a buyer. And one of the things that I cover in the course that you can get now, link in the description, that is discussing a standard operating procedure. Now, this is a kind of a buzzword term that a lot of people don't know about. And standard operating procedure basically means your day-to-day, what you're doing, how the business operates in a flow chart. Now, this is, you sitting at your desk working on, sending emails, stuff like that. No, it's basically you say, all right, each day I log into this account and I send emails, I communicate with our customer service reps, I communicate directly with our developers. Our developers are working on the user experience. They're working on organizing and parsing data in our database. They're working on making email better for communication. We're working on user flows, things like that. So the goal is to get a whole picture, like a flow chart, a whole picture of what you're doing day to day. Now, even if you're starting a business, if you are a buyer, you want to make sure that if they do not have that, you set that up. So the event in the future you want to sell it, you have that SOP, standard operating procedure, to pass on. It makes the business more valuable, more transitionable, if that's a word. It makes it more transferable to another buyer in the future. Now, standard operating procedures may be difficult for many people. It's not necessarily secret sauce. It's just saying this is necessarily do. This is how you operate. Here, let's go through AMZ Alert. What is this one? Sponsored listing. So 3-year-old SaaS Amazon software, over 12,000 profit per month. 150,000 starting price, reserve is 400,000, and $500,000 as a buy it now. Let's see here. Net profit per month, negative $9,412. So this is not true. This one liner right here, 12,000 profit per month. That's not accurate. It looks like the page views are 7,000 per month. So even if you threw AdSense on here, that would make $7, or no, uniques, that would make $3 per month. So financials, gross revenue per month. So these are averages, as I've said in the past. Looks like gross revenue is actually quite high, 20,000, 19, 15, but the costs, it looks like, are substantial here. Negative $31,000 in revenue. So let's figure out what the issue is with his balance sheet. Yeah, you can see the costs outweigh the revenue. And now profits roughly $10 to $15 a month in profit. Previous months had a loss, however, good revenue. We put over $200K into making our revenue, our software. Okay, so this is one of those examples where people have invested a lot of time, effort, and resources into building something. And I've run into this a lot, and this is a kind of secret amongst the community here, that when people invest 3-4 years into a business and it's not profitable, it's not a sustainable business, they're going to go on here, try and sell it for a lump sum. But like I said previously, a few minutes ago, it only matters what the company is making or the business is making in revenue. No projections, no previous investments. It's all what matters is that it is making revenue consistently every month, so an investor can sweep in and buy it and get it done. Like, for example, if you were going to buy this, you would have to fire everyone and cut the costs all the way down, eliminate these costs entirely, and try and rebuild your cost structure there every month so that you could at least maintain some profit. And because this is brutal right here. This is probably all development costs going into this here. And this doesn't matter, right? Like, this doesn't matter to a new investor. A new investor looks at this and says, all right, well, how much profit is it making right now? 10K a month. All right. Well, I need to drastically push that number down before I can push the gross up. So this is an example of a standard operating procedure that you would want. You would want to see this firsthand. You'd want to see how the SOP is written. You want to see what they're working on, how many developers they're working with, what the developers are doing, if they're outsourcing, if they're using contractors, and get that standard operating procedure for something like this so that you can start cutting costs. So this is an example of a good business that you could potentially change. You could potentially come in, get their standard operating procedure from them, and you could proceed to gut what's going on and make sure that you replace the holes that you've then gutted, and make sure that you are accurately covering all of the components that go into the standard operating procedure. But this is where an SOP comes in handy extremely, extremely well. And this is an example of a good version of getting an SOP that could work. Now, this is obviously a $500,000 bet on this. With, I think they said buy it now was $550K. And I've said in the past, the buy it now is usually just a premium, because if you're ready to go and you're not going to negotiate and you want to do the bin, all the power to you. But everybody that I know that's successful in this, they negotiate a lot. So make sure that you negotiate. You don't just do bins. You can negotiate the bin down, and then they can set it and you can buy it really quickly. But don't just blindly go for the bin. So this is an example, a good example of how an SOP could really benefit you as a buyer. And I'm hoping that this guy has this as the seller. So if you're selling, you have all your costs, everything. You have everything very tight knit. Everybody always anticipates. Let's go through and find a bad. I'm not even going to go to starter sites because you guys have brought that up many times of going through starter sites, and I'm not going to do that. Let's find, let's keep it in SaaS. Why not? Let's look at Blockchain Nova. Blockchain Nova has the largest B2B database of blockchain industry contacts, which it sells for a license fee. All right, so it's only been around since May of this year. It peaked at 9K. So this is a licensing play, meaning that you develop something like a database and then you are actually licensing it to businesses. Now, I don't participate in these types of businesses because this is just a different ball game altogether with licensing plays, and I am very much focused on consumer plays in the Flippa marketplace. I do know people that go here to look for B2B businesses, but at the same time, it's a whole different field when you're dealing with selling to businesses, that you have to have a sales pipeline, sales structure, all that set up. Whereas if you're just dealing with a website to attract consumers to purchase, view, read, any type of thing, download things that consumers are going to be doing, that's a whole different conversation. So yeah, this is a very interesting business model because it's like PitchBook, Muckrack, PE Hub, and others that have built a very large, valuable business with very specific niche data. So they are effectively licensing and selling the data of people in a industry that you can reach out to and contact, which I could understand for a business if you were interested in that. And this would be something that an SOP, standard operating procedure, would come super in handy with. But this is not something that I would touch, and this is going to classify as the one that I'm not going to be touching in this episode because it's business based. I'm only focused on B2C, not B2B. So if you guys are investing, and you would have to hire a little sales team here, you'd have to hire people to manage the actual business relationships, customer support, or customer success for your business partnerships and your businesses that are using your platform. So whole different ball game here, and this is not something that I would get into. All right, that was a little bit of a different one. So not to cheat you guys out, I want to make sure that we find a little bit of a wild one here. Let's find one that is, let's do Buck's Paradise. That looks good. This is making over $100 a day for sale. Without going out of your house withdraws. E-commerce, gross 3,000, net is 2,700. Good graph. Wow. All right. So consistent costs, that would probably have to be dug into a little bit more. Daily payments to your PayPal bank account or Bitcoin account. Buck's Paradise has been created 2008. Advertised on YouTube and has a few contextual advertising networks. Has its own support team. Takes 20 minutes. I don't. Provides 4 super money making options. Buy quality leads for over 17 verticals. Play and win cash gambling. Okay, so this is a gambling site. Affiliate program. Buy business scripts. Okay, so looks like this is a lead generation for casinos and affiliate related gambling sites. Why are you selling the business? I need over 500K for a new casino business in maximum of 40 days. That's why I sell all 7 websites. To keep all my websites profitable once a month, I need to order ads. With casino businesses, I will get 20% more revenue with the same advertising. Wow, so this is one that I would not touch. This is going to classify as a bad. If you guys are, depending on what country you're in, the casino business is a little bit of murky water. There are a lot of laws all over the United States about these types of things, and I wouldn't recommend getting into this if you're brand new to investing. And this is going to classify as the bad website for this review. Now, it looks like there's consistent revenue and things like that, so people are going to shoot me DMs and ask me about that, but This has to do with the niche itself. If there is potential hot water that you're going to step into, there needs to be a substantial more amount that is being made, in my opinion, and this is just not making that much in order for the risks to be worth it. So that is it for this. If you guys are interested in learning more, click the link in the description below to sign up for the Buy Sell Bootcamp about everything buying and selling websites. Also, if you guys are looking to sell your website, reach out to me, shoot me a DM. I have a direct line to a lot of brokers, Flippa, Empire Flippers, a lot of people that are always interested in looking for sellers, and I could definitely hook you guys up with that. But that is also included in the course material in the description below. Enter coupon code 2020 to get 20% off, and I will see you guys on the next episode of buying and selling bad versus good websites on Flippa.